Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about future-proof. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, is software engineering a future-proof job or should I study something else? Well, I think that you can study pretty much anything and it's not going to be future-proof. What like I think that we really need to have a talk, dude, and I think we need to understand what you mean by future-proof. Uh, because there is no such thing as a future-proof career. I mean, if your question is it a stable job prospect for you for quite some time, then yes. But there's a lot of if and buts to be had here. I mean, if you want something that is really future-proof, then go into security work. If you want to be 100% sure that you will always have something to do, then security. And I'm not talking digital security. I'm talking you get paid to basically sit on your ass and watch monitors, or you get paid to walk around with around a building and make sure that nobody's breaking and entering. That is probably the safe if you really want a stable job. How about being a janitor? That's probably also very stable, future-proof work. Uh, if Because this is the thing, guys. Uh, if you're looking for a career that is future-proof, if you really want to be future-proof, it's more complicated than saying that, yeah, I'm just gonna be this or that, and then I'm just gonna plug out, and then I'm gonna be that thing until I die. That's not how you future-proof something. The reason why you see these massive factory layoffs go so really horribly for people around the world is because once that has happened, you either have a situation where people who have seem to forgotten what it means. I don't know. Maybe society makes it too easy for some of us. Maybe that, or I mean, I'm not saying that it's just. It might be the case, of course, that you don't have any other prospects. But what I'm saying is that there are enough examples of people who come from like third world countries who are able to understand that if you want something or you want to secure your position in life, you're going to have to understand that the future is always changing. Things are moving, things are evolving, and you have to understand that you can't be lazy about your own survival. Because, at least if you ask me, if you don't give a shit about improving yourself or keeping yourself relevant or paying attention to what's going on, then you are lazy. You are lazy about your own survival. There might come 100 things around the corner that you are not prepared for, that will change your situation drastically. And if you are in the mental state where this thing, like, you don't even think about that, it's, to me, that is like not doing your retirement saving. Okay, sure, you don't have to, but then don't come asking the government to solve your problems when something changes. And with the factory workers type of analogy, it's the same sort of thing. So you have a big factory that is a major source of income for a specific town or a specific city, and then that goes over, and now all of a sudden nobody has the education, or like there's no one who has the funds or anything like that to start anything up again. And this can happen to literally anyone, anywhere. Literally anybody, even the software developers. Literally all of us can happen. This can happen tomorrow. You have no way of knowing if it happens. It can be something completely unpredictable. And if you want to if you want to solve those sorts of situations, I think that you need to understand that there is no such thing as a future-proof job. There is a future-proof mindset. And the future-proof mindset is one of the person who understands how to survive. How do you survive? If A happens, what do you do? If B happens, what do you do? Like, how will you deal with the things that come your way in your life? That is the thing that will future-proof your job. So software development is a very good environment to be in if you want to future-proof yourself, because you're going to find yourself in an environment where you have a lot of creative people from different angles of life, and you're going to be exposed to a lot of smart people, and usually very passionate, people and there's a lot of knowledge sharing, it's a very good stimulating environment for your mind, which is a very good thing if you want to be an entrepreneur or a technical person. I mean, practically whatever you want to do. It's just it's to me it's sort of like just exercise. It's exercise for the mind. If you go to, I don't know, a really boring like assembly line type of factory job where you just do the same thing every single day, your mind will not be as stimulated in many cases. You can of course educate yourself and so forth, but on average you're not going to feel the same level of stimulation coming through you as if you're in an environment where there's a lot of things going on. It's a much working at a higher pace, and there's this exchange of talented, enthusiastic people who work on the higher end of industry and so forth. In that environment, you will actually learn a lot of the skills that you need in order to survive in another environment. And so if your environment changes and it's not as lucrative anymore, well, then maybe you need to pivot. Maybe you need to move somewhere else. Maybe you need to do something different. Maybe you need to complement some skills. And you can do all these things if you get into that can-do mindset or warrior mindset, or the survival mindset, where you understand that you need to pay attention to what's going on, and you need to react to, and in some case be a little bit of ahead and make good investments in order to secure your position, whatever it is that you might be doing. An example of people who can really show how this is done, maybe not in my favorite way, is people who work at the company management level, the CEO levels and so forth. Guys, there are people who work in completely different industries at the top levels who they basically survive on the fact that they have a very good eye for business and good decisions and so forth, and they're so good at it. It doesn't really matter what they do. Like, you can move them from one industry to another because they're managing a company at such a scale, at such a high level, that for them it's really not it doesn't super matter what product that they are selling. It's because they're so flexible and so good at this thing that they can pick up the small details of that position and actually make the company a success even so. That's where you have these geniuses of business who really understand how to make something like a big company into one of those really high performance super companies. I mean, one of the dudes who took over a position at my last job at which was a major international company, I think he had been a fairly high positioned person in KFC. He had never worked in IT, but he was able to go in and actually make a positive change for the company, a digital company, because he understood things at a much higher level, and he has invested in his mind and his mindset and his ability to solve problems rather than a specific position at a specific job. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you're asking me if there is such if software engineering is a future-proof job, no, it is not, because there is no such thing as a future-proof job. There is such a thing as a future-proof person. That I definitely can promise you that there is. If you have a survival mindset, which means that you understand what's going on in the world and you have a holistic picture of your position in that world, then you know that just as it's important to take care of your body to keep up your physical fitness, it is important to educate yourself and keep your mind fresh and strong, because these are the things that will make the difference when the environment starts to change, because that gives you the opportunity to invest your time in different types of things that might make it easy to circumvent catastrophes and stuff like that. The thing you don't want is to go into this kind of autopilot mode where you don't care about anything. You just do the basic little thing that you've been doing for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden the environment changes, and now you stand there and complain that there are no jobs and there are no opportunities. Yeah, because you're so behind your personal in your personal development. To me, it's very similar to you becoming obese. Your mind has become obese. You have become so stagnant that you now lack the most of the survival skills that are necessary to survive in a modern ecosystem, and that is something that software development will help you with. It really is a good way to keep your mental fitness really high as working in software engineering, but that doesn't mean that you can just plug out and be a code monkey forever and then think that you're going to be safe in terms of job prospects for the rest of your life, because that's not a given. It might be much more complicated than that. Have a great day.